everyone, and welcome to 1923 Main Street, where pavement, powder, and perfect swells combine with travel style every week. I am your host, Mike Belobradic, and today we ask the question, is skate style changing? Well, let's talk about what's new and what's staying the same with skateboard style right now. You know, when you look around, there aren't many styles that have had as much influence on everyday fashion as skateboarding has. It started as functional clothing to survive skate parks, street riding, and it eventually became a defining look of streetwear around the world. Graphic tees, hoodies, loose-fitting denim, skate shoes, flannels, utility-inspired clothing as well, they all owe a little bit of their popularity to skateboarding culture. But as fashion evolves, as it always does, there's an interesting question to ask, and that is skateboard style changing, or is it simply staying true to itself while everyone else catches up? From our perspective, the answer is a little bit of both. First things first, unlike a lot of fashion trends that start on runways, skateboard style was built around practicality. Loose-fitting clothes were required for freedom of movement, and they still are today. And not only the clothes allowing you to move, but the fabrics have to be able to stand up to falls and scrapes as much as possible with a fabric. So this practical foundation hasn't really changed much at all, because those things are still very important today. But comfort still wins for skateboarders. If you've noticed that looser clothing is becoming more common, you are not imagining it. Relaxed jeans, roomy cargo pants, even oversized hoodies, not extreme, but looser, and boxy t-shirts, they all still are core to skate style, and they've become increasingly accepted in Main Street fashion as well. In fact, fashion forecasters continue to point to relaxed silhouettes and nostalgia-driven streetwear as major influences on casual clothing beyond the skate deck. And for men and women both, the emphasis is less about oversized for the sake of being oversized, and I say thank goodness to that, and more about clothing that feels natural and easy to wear. Graphic tees have always been part of skate culture, and that is not changing. But what is changing is the style of graphics on the t-shirts and hoodies and sweatshirts. Instead of loud, flashy, and sometimes crude designs, a lot of today's graphic tees are more vintage-inspired in their artwork or retro typography, hand-drawn illustrations, even travel themes, and minimalist graphics. It's a look that feels authentic, not trendy. And that makes these shirts easy to wear, whether you're skateboarding, surfing, traveling, or just hanging out. Recent fashion reporting also notes the resurgence of retro graphic tees across casual fashion beyond skateboards. And one of the biggest shifts is that skate style has become increasingly gender neutral. It started out male-dominated, then we had a lot of feminine styles emerging, which was awesome as more women came into the sport, and now we're sort of landing somewhere in the middle, so many of the same wardrobe staples work equally well no matter who's wearing them. So rather than following separate men's and women's trends, today's skate style, it's built still around its core comfort and personal expression. Sure, there are still outfits that are more masculine and more feminine on either side, and that's great, but the middle is starting to take on a greater share of the overall style pie. I guess that's the way to look at it. Is baggy going away? Well, not exactly, but while you'll see some skateboarders working with slightly cleaner silhouettes and straight-leg jeans, that type of thing, the ultra-skinny era is in the rearview mirror. Again, thank goodness. Interestingly, some voices in skate culture are seeing that the pendulum is starting to swing slightly back towards more balanced proportions, not necessarily skinny, but less exaggerated than the baggiest styles that were really prevalent, 15 years ago. That's probably a good thing in my opinion, because it means there's a greater variety within skate style now and not one dominant look, that pop culture, that skater look that was maybe in the 90s. So from where we stand, the biggest change isn't about the clothing at all. It's today's skateboard culture is clearly placing less emphasis on wearing exactly what everyone else is wearing and more on individuality, which has become part of its aesthetic. And, you could argue that was always the case. Mixing vintage finds with newer pieces, combining workwear influences with sort of relaxed basic items, and wearing clothes because they feel right. That's just as important as, if not more, as any trend. And that's a good thing because that is a philosophy that has always been at the heart of skateboarding. So is skate style changing? Yes, but slowly. The biggest trends we see right now in skateboarding aren't radical departures from the past. They're more like evolutions and refinements. And we think that that is just fine. All right, everyone. Thanks as always for listening. Let us know your thoughts on skateboard style and where you think it's going. Follow along on social media at 1923 Main Street. Visit the shop at 1923mainstreet.com. I'll see you again next week, and as always, roam freely and ride forward.